Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Roman Reigns hasn't been seen on WWE TV since April when Braun Breaker attacked him, but he could be set to make his return in the build-up to SummerSlam. While the original bloodline is currently split across WWE brands, with Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, and Roman Reigns heading in different directions, it's worth noting that today marks 4 years since the group originally came together. On July 9, 2021, the family officially came together after a feud between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, with his brother Jimmy later returning from injury to be part of the storyline. The Usos and Reigns occasionally teamed up as the Bloodline before they all reunited in 2021 and were on the same page to kickstart the Bloodline saga, which went on to become one of the major reasons for the company's success. Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa were later recruited as members of the group, but the original Bloodline, established in 2021, consisted of Paul Heyman, Reigns, and the Usos. It's hard to believe that today marks 3 years since the Tribal Chief was born, and it could now be the same month when Reigns makes his return and debuts a new character. Roman Reigns could return without his Tribal Chief character. As already noted, all of the original members of the Bloodline are doing their own thing at present. Solo Sikoa has formed his own group, comprising himself, JC Mateo, and the Tongans, and he has now dubbed this his MFT, marking the official end to the Bloodline saga. When Reigns returns to WWE, he will go after Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman following their recent betrayal. The OTC is no longer the head of his family or his bloodline, which means that it's likely he will return with a different character. Speculation believes that Reigns will be back in WWE before next month's SummerSlam, so it will be interesting to see where he fits in and if he will return on Raw or SmackDown. In the ever-shifting world of WWE, where alliances are tested under bright lights and louder cheers, few stories have resonated as deeply as that of Roman Reigns and his bloodline. As they stand at a new crossroads, with fresh rivals, hidden betrayals, and the promise of undisputed greatness, the WWE Universe takes a collective breath and sends their best wishes to the family that has turned generations of Samoan legacy into modern wrestling royalty. Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, has worn many crowns. Champion, leader, villain to some, hero to others. But above all, he has stood as the cornerstone of the Bloodline, a family faction that has become so much more than a group of wrestlers. It is a statement of power, unity, and the hard truths of loyalty in a business where alliances crumble as quickly as they form. When Roman declared himself the head of the table, it wasn't just a catchphrase. It was a vow, to himself, to his family, and to the fans who have followed him through the roaring highs and crushing lows. It was a promise that the Anoa'i dynasty would not only survive but thrive, commanding main events and pay-per-views with an iron will and a golden glove. Now, as rumors swirl about new threats, possible fractures within the family, and Roman's own future inside and beyond the squared circle, fans everywhere find themselves wanting to say just one thing: thank you. And best wishes, for whatever comes next. May Roman Reigns continue to stand tall, whether surrounded by brothers or walking alone. May his body heal between brutal matches that demand so much of him physically and mentally. May the boos and cheers continue to roll in, because they prove that people care, they prove he matters, that he stirs something deep in the hearts of millions who tune in every week to see what the Bloodline will do next. To Solo Sikoa, the Enforcer, the Quiet Storm, best wishes as well. The youngest of the faction, Solo has carved his own path under Roman's shadow, yet with every Samoan spike, he shows flashes of a future that could rival even his Tribal Chiefs. May he find his voice, his moment, and his story. May his loyalty be rewarded, his betrayals forgiven when they come, because in the Bloodline, betrayal is never just a possibility. It is a legacy in itself. To Jimmy Uso, who has stood by Roman, turned on him, stood by him again, may you find peace with your choices. May your super kicks land true, may your promos burn with the passion that made you a fan favorite, even when the lines between villain and hero blur. The Bloodline's drama is as Shakespearean as wrestling gets, brothers turning on brothers, only to find their way back to each other under brighter lights and bigger stakes. To Jey Uso, the one who broke away but never truly broke free. May you soar in whatever direction you choose, whether that's standing against the Bloodline or returning to your family's embrace when the time is right. You're the beating heart of this story, the first to acknowledge the Tribal Chief and the first to challenge him when his rule grew too cold. To the elders, the ones who watch from afar, the legends who paved the way, Rikishi, the Wild Samoans, The Rock himself, may you smile proudly at what your sons and nephews have built. May your legacy remain untouchable, even as this new generation writes their own chapter in wrestling's immortal book. And to the WWE Universe, who chants, boos, and cries at every twist and turn, best wishes to you too. Because without the passion of the fans, the Bloodline's story would have no pulse. The goosebumps when Roman lifts the Universal Championship high. The silence when he demands acknowledgement. The eruption when Jey Uso says he's nobody's right-hand man anymore. It all exists because the crowd believes. No dynasty lasts forever. Even Roman knows this. One day, the final spear will be delivered, the final table will be set, and the tribal chief will lay down his crown, not in defeat, but in evolution. Maybe he'll head to Hollywood like so many predict. Maybe he'll come back for a Hall of Fame speech with his children beside him, a new generation waiting for their turn to carry the Anoa'i legacy forward. Until that day comes, may Roman Reigns stay healthy in mind and body. May the next challenger push him to new heights, reminding him why he fought so hard to get here. May the Bloodline saga continue to deliver the best drama in sports entertainment, twists that keep us guessing, moments that remind us why we fell in love with wrestling in the first place. If there's one thing we know for sure, it's that Roman Reigns isn't done yet. There are more stories to tell, more betrayals to endure, more reconciliations to cherish, more matches that leave us breathless when the final bell rings. And when he finally steps away, may he do so with the knowledge that he changed the game. He turned a simple faction into an empire. He took boos and turned them into a throne. He made us acknowledge him, and he made us love every minute of it. So here's to the Bloodline, to Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy, and Jey Uso, and everyone who stands with them or against them. May your bonds be tested and reforged. May your promos echo through arenas for decades to come. May your legacy stand tall long after the final bell tolls. From the fans who cheer, boo, and acknowledge, best wishes. To the tribal chief and his bloodline, who gave wrestling a story for the ages, thank you. May the next chapter be even greater than the last.